Welcome back, everybody. Today we are having an urgent Phoenix housing market update. You want to stay tuned for this one. We'll see you on the inside. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. I am your host, Josh Zuniga. This is my special co-host over here, Karl Freund.
Good to see you, man.
And good to see you, brother. And today we
fresh
have
haircut.
You just got it 2 days ago.
Killing it, dude.
3 weeks overdue.
God, I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Oh, because you want to grow hair, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. It's all right though.
Yeah, it's a thing. So we got the good razor though. We'll be shaving it up.
Try.
Nice. So, guys, today is a very interesting topic. We're talking about urgent news for the Phoenix housing market update. So, what I want to start with, there's articles being put out by Realtor.com and nationwide publications that Phoenix has seen the largest increase in inventory over the last 8 weeks, 60 days.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah, and we've seen that. So just to give you guys some stats, prior to, I think probably in May or beginning of May, we were probably at 5,000 homes or less, for inventory on the market. I think we're currently sitting at 16,000 or more.
So, yeah, it's over 17,500.
17,500. Wow. All right. So there's
a big increase.
Hundreds of houses going on the market here within the Phoenix area daily. Huge change.
Massive change. But I think the numbers are a little misleading, and so we kind of got to be careful with it because I don't want to mislead people. Mm-hmm. There was a block of inventory of new homes that were off market, okay, where the builders literally didn't put them on the MLS. And they dropped a bunch of those. Okay, so there's 1,000 right there.
Yep.
Also, Open Door dropped, I think they've got about 1,650 listings here in Phoenix Metro alone. So there's another 10% of the market, right? Mm-hmm. And to think that one player has got 10% of the market is terrifying.
They usually have 20%. And we talked about an episode where they had 20% of the market share. And I think they're starting to realize what's happening within the market, and they're starting to offload a lot of those properties now.
Yeah, they are. But it is a little concerning, to be honest with you. We've never seen as rapid of an increase in home inventory in my lifetime, and so it's a little unnerving. There's always opportunity in the air, and so we talked about that. There's always opportunity in an inclining market or, a declining market or a stable market. There's always little pockets where you can find opportunity. And so, in terms of a market update, I think the biggest question here is, and I'd love to see your opinion on it.
Yeah.
Where do you see housing prices going in the next 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 months?
Okay. I'm glad you asked. So even with a lot of the listings that I had starting in May or even in June, we had no idea what was happening. All of a sudden, the buyers just pulled back. Interest rates got raised up, and anything past 5, people just really started to take a second look at how much they're actually going to be paying, for their mortgage. And that's a consideration for any buyer. Buyers were in mass, just in the beginning of the year and in 2021. And then all of a sudden, they disappeared. Why is that? So what changed? The perception of the market, or obviously the perception of the market, but in addition to that, their payments, okay? So, and we'll talk about this in another episode, as rates continue to rise, they were actually down earlier this week. We talked about it, right? Mm-hmm. But what I tell with my sellers and even with the buyers, we literally have to gauge what the market's doing week by week and month by month because it's changing so often, and you have to pivot. And just like with gas prices, people are they're in shock, because things are happening so fast. How can our inventory increase by 3 times in 8 weeks? That is insane. So people are going to have to really learn how to digest that information and actually know if it's going to be working out well for their family and for their finances is a big one too. People are really concerned about their finances right now.
100%. I think, it's the problem here is that there's an affordability gap. And I think that's what kind of was the sticker shock. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's just say you're shopping for a $500,000 house. Yeah. 6 months ago, it was within your budget, on a monthly payment. You could say your monthly payment, you can afford $3,000 a month, just to, all in HOAs, taxes, insurance, PITI, $3,000 a month. Interest rates go up, 2%, and then all of a sudden that payment jumps by about $500-$600 a month. That house that you were looking at $500,000 is no longer attainable. Okay, so then you're like, well, what can I afford? Well, a $400,000 house. Well, in Phoenix, those are hard to come by.
Very hard.
And so you're looking at way out, Tolleson, Tonopah,
Buckeye.
Not
even Queen Creek. You can't even find a $400,000 house.
Queen Creek's cracking, right? So ain't gonna happen. And so, they're looking at it like, well, do I rent? And so that's becoming a real question. So it's something we can get into in a different episode, I think. But, very interesting to see. So, I guess in your opinion, go back to just what I asked, 3 months housing prices, where do you see them?
Right now, prices are being cut left and right. Okay. And I was just having a conversation with another investor, obviously this morning. He's like, where do you see housing prices going for, the next 3 months or obviously in next year? So for a seller that has been bought a house within the last 3 years, they're in a good interest rate, right? So they're not having what we saw in 2008, where they're doing all these ARMs and all these balloon payments, and then overnight you literally can't even afford your mortgage. Right. So they just, allow it to foreclose. The good thing about the condition that we're in now is that a majority of people are in payments that they can actually afford. Okay. So if you're a seller, stay there. If you don't have to move, don't. Keep that interest rate, keep the payment, and just make things work. And obviously people are talking about we're in a recession. We've had a decrease in GDP for the last 2 quarters, and that's obviously going to scare people. Just hold tight. Okay. But there's individuals that have to sell because of family, because of relocation, because of job, whatever the case may be. Those sellers are going to have to realize that they're probably going to have to take a haircut. I have 2 clients that are in the 900,000s, and one of them we had to accept almost $100,000 less.
Ooh,
and the other one were $75,000 where we actually started.
Yeah.
Just because, even though you do a price decrease in today's market, it does not guarantee a showing. The listings are averaging 0 to 1, maybe 2 showings a week right now. Mm-hmm. That's just what I'm seeing. That's what I'm experiencing. I'm even having agents call me in similar neighborhoods where their listings are at. I say, hey, Josh, I know you've been on the market for X amount of days. What's it like out there? And I was like, well, if you're listing, be ready to not have any showings. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is, right? And I have some flips personally there in Sun City. A lot of those are baby boomers and older, and they're very conservative with their money. In fact, if they had their money in the stock market, their retirement accounts are shot. So I don't see them affording a house anytime soon, or, trying to relocate and have a second home here and putting down that, because they've been watching the news. The news has been changing their perception and making them not comfortable with investing into the market and making that, additional move to invest into a property. So that's why we have to pivot. There's so much that's overwhelming people as far as information right now that I think that they're a little scared, which, I would be in the same boat. You don't really know who to trust, or you don't know really what information to understand or which one I should go with. But you need to understand where you need to be, where your finances are, and make the best decision for you and your family. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to break it down for you. 3 months, probably not going too far, right? No. So, one of the things that you need to understand, the housing market is a very, very big ship. Think about it as a cruise ship, mm-hmm. right? Or tanker. It takes time to change directions. Mm-hmm. Okay. It takes a long time. There's a lot of still pent up demand that, is still driving a lot of the sales that we're seeing today. People have a legitimate need for housing, right? And so they're going to pay for it whether they want to or not. Is it going to cost more? Yeah, probably. Do I see prices coming down in 6 months? Probably. And so I've called it, dude. I called this starting last year. I said,
yeah, we knew it.
October 22, go back and rewind the tape.
Guys, if you're looking to buy, this year, mm-hmm. I'd be looking at June, July, and August, because that's your best chance of getting in with more inventory.
Yeah.
People think that it's inverted in Arizona. It's not. We have the same cycles as everybody else, and it's because school,
Yeah.
And so, if you do buy a house, I would look at maybe June, July, or August.
I remember the exact episode we said it, in fall.
October 2022, we're going to see that decline, and I think there's that reset. Longer term, we are seeing interest rates stabilize, which is good. The Fed got ahead of inflation, which is good. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that in a different episode soon, I'm shortly. But getting into the economics of it, I think we're going to be okay. So do I see prices coming down? Yes, because there's a huge affordability gap. Do I see them coming down 20%? No, because what you said earlier, there's not going to be the foreclosure market that we saw.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a need to sell houses? Yeah. Is there going to be a need to buy houses? Yeah, of course. So I think we're good. Nobody freak out. If you don't need to move, don't move. If you need to move, make a move.
Yeah.
Any last parting words?
And that's a big thing you said. I was like, guys, don't freak out with what the headlines are saying. Okay. Like they say, if they were in a recession, look around, man. Like people are still spending money left and right. It's like crazy. Okay. And I had the conversation with the investor yesterday and earlier this week. Arizona saw a 29%, or Maricopa County within Arizona saw a 29% appreciation rate within our county here. All right. So maybe you're not going to see, if you sell, if you have to sell, you're not going to see that 29% growth.
No, it's not happening.
All right. You're going to have to do your price cuts. You may see 25, you may see 20, but historically speaking, Arizona saw an average of 7 to 9% appreciation. So you're still ahead of the curve.
29%.
Yeah. Well, before
Oh, yeah.
2020,
Okay.
before 2020, and the national average, which was between 3 and 5 and 3 and 6, depending on the state. Right. So
Yep.
our appreciation was accelerated greatly within a year and a half, 2 years. Okay. Wonderful. You're still going to be okay. Even if you bought a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, you're still going to be okay. Take your money. If you have to move, leave, move on to the next chapter. But don't panic, guys. Don't start selling your properties, and start doing, $100,000, under asking just because you're freaking out and you need to get rid of the property.
Yep.
If you have the ability to stay patient, wait for your price, and hold tight.
Yep. Perfect.
Sound good?
Excellent. If I could say one thing, don't time the market, spend time in the market.
Smart,
So.
wise words right there.
Cool. Wrap it up.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Inside View Real Estate Podcast. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We want to continue to bring you so much value every single episode. Until next time, we'll see you on the inside.